All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Me here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you right there, and just like me. All right. This is a great CD. Alan Parsons, From the New World, came out last year. Definitely one of his best albums, and that's saying a lot because he's brilliant. This is a great songwriter, arranger, producer, just generally superb musician, and real kind of prolific guy all around. And he's still going strong in his 70s, and he doesn't have to do this anymore. He's not going to make a lot of money, right, on a CD, but he put it out for his fans. And people, I remember when it came out, they're sending me messages, dude, have you heard this Alan Parsons? And I'm like, nope. And I went and listened to it, and I'm just, wow. The guy hasn't lost anything. In fact, if anything, he's even better than he was before. So check it out. If you haven't heard From the New World, we are living in a new world right now. And so it's fitting, right? Because we are the new normal. We are living it. Speaking of great musicians, Neal Schon paid tribute to Jeff Beck. I wasn't thinking about Neal Schon at all in the last 24 hours because, you know, there haven't been any new developments or lawsuits, or there hasn't been any name calling or postings about, you know, one guy with a credit card, one guy doesn't know what's going on with the credit card, and there are no new trademark lawsuits. Steve Perry dropped his lawsuit. So I wasn't really thinking in terms of Journey all that much yesterday. You know, other than John says he'll be there. Hey, I'll be there February 4th. I'm going to be there. So people are buying tickets. It's real exciting. But then I went over to Neal's Facebook page because I was curious if he had a reaction to the Jeff Beck thing. And holy crap, Batman, not only did he have a reaction, but he played this tune called Song of the Rain. Goes on for about 10 minutes, and it's really good. It's the typical Neal Schon. I sit down and I play my guitar and I film the whole thing and film. There's no film involved. Anyway, he takes video, and it's brilliant stuff. I don't think it's a cover of anything. I don't know if it's one of his original songs, but it's really good. And he said, I believe over on Facebook, he posted something about his relationship with Jeff Beck, and there are some cool pictures over there as well. It says here, Jeff Beck, you have brought so much to all of us and forever in our hearts and souls. We had many great times together. Early Journey opened up for Jeff and Jan Hammer. Then later toured together in Japan while I was in Bad English. I'm gutted right now, and I've had a candle burning for the last couple of days. Rest in peace, my friend. Much love and gratitude, Neal. Now, for a couple of days, that's kind of weird because this happened yesterday. So maybe Neal knew about something in advance, that things weren't going well with his friend. And probably one of the guys who inspired him when he was a teenager was Jeff Beck. And here's my theory about Neal Schon, and I've said this in other videos. If Herbie Herbert didn't insist that Journey become a commercial juggernaut, I think Journey would have went on to be this Jeff Beck style jam band. And Jeff Beck lived his entire career, other than helping out other people like Rod Stewart, obviously, and Mick Jagger, and a few others. I'll add my guitar solo to this. Ozzy Osbourne, most recently, which is really cool. That's a great testimony to Jeff Beck as a human being. Like, hey, I'm still going to do things my way. I'm still going to be this crazy, innovative guitar player that does things that other guitar players either don't do or can't do. All right, now, for you fans of Neal Schon, you're going to like what I'm going to say. Neal Schon, to me, is a more listenable guitar player in my humble opinion, than Jeff Beck. But for you Jeff Beck fans, I'm going to say this. Jeff Beck basically did things on guitar that I don't know if Neal Schon can do. And no offense to Neal, maybe he can. See, the thing about Neal Schon is he's played it journey for so long. In other words, this is his lot in life. I'm in this band. These are the songs I play. He just closes his eyes and he's just doing it. It's not really hard for Neal Schon to play Stone in Love. It's not hard for him to play any Journey song at all. Not because he, wrote the guitar parts or whatever. It's because the songs aren't all that challenging on guitar. The songs that are challenging are the ones that he probably added some difficulty to make it interesting. You got to go back to those first 3 albums to hear stuff that's innovative and challenging and more Jeff Beck-like. And I'm thinking, you know what? Neal Schon could have been Jeff Beck in the sense that if he wasn't in this band and he didn't have this manager who was, okay, we're going to make this band popular. You guys aren't just going to be this jam band forever. And Steve Perry shows up and everything changes. It becomes more R&B. It becomes more commercial. It becomes a lot of things that I don't think Neal Schon necessarily puts at the top of his list as far as style and as far as what he'd rather be doing. I think Neal Schon would rather be doing what Jeff Beck did all those years. I think these two guys have a similar vision for music, soul, blues, jazz, rock, whatever, just throw it all together. Whatever comes out of that guitar is what, I'm doing. It's not any style in particular. I can kind of do all of it. And for Neal Schon, I think if he could have been Jeff Beck in the sense that he went in that direction and still earned a decent living and garnered a lot of support from the fans out there, and it elevates your stature. Jeff Beck has a much higher stature than Neal Schon because Neal Schon has been in this band Journey for so long, and people just think, oh, Journey, Faithfully, Open Arms. Neal even said about Open Arms, what am I going to do in this song? Yeah, we'll get to a guitar solo eventually, but this wasn't a challenging environment for Neal Schon, whereas Jeff Beck was always making music that was challenging. And so my hunch is that Neal Schon shared a kindred spirit with this guy, Jeff Beck, who left the world and left this amazing mark on the music world because he just did what he wanted to do. He blazed his own trail. There's no following a trail that was blazed by somebody who zigged and zagged and did what they wanted to do. You go back and listen to Jeff Beck and you're just going to hear all this stuff that I don't know if anyone else can do. I mean, that's how good the guy was. And yeah, you could try to imitate it, but guess what? Jeff Beck made it up in the first place. So he gets to have credit. He gets all the credit for that. So in any way, Neal Schon's tribute, definitely wonderful and appropriate. And, one great guitarist honoring another great guitarist. And Neal did a very classy thing over on his Facebook page. So kudos to Neal. It's good to take a break from the lawsuits and the fighting and the credit cards and, pushing your keyboard player out of the band. Did I say that? I'm sorry. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. And so far, there's no indication that John Cain is going to call it a career. I just don't think he's going to let Neal just take the band. But you know what? I'm thinking if Greg Raleigh, who, by the way, also has a lot in common with that whole Jeff Beck era, Greg Raleigh, he must be pretty devastated today, too. If it was Greg, Neal, Dean, that would be cool for me. That would be enough journey, and you could also link to everything that the band ever did. You could perform. It's kind of like that Journey Through Time deal, right? So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I want to see. But maybe I'm alone on that. Maybe most people just want to hear all of the ballads sung perfectly, which is okay too. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I'd like to see the band be able to perform anything from their history, but this isn't really about Journey, is it? This is supposed to be about Neal and Jeff. Here's Alan Parsons. I threw this in here because you've got brilliance all over the place. You've got Alan Parsons, Jeff Beck, and Neal Schon, and Greg Raleigh, hopefully, right? Hope Greg is out there for a lot of tour dates, because that will make it all worth, spending $18 on a beer or whatever. Definitely, hey, I got to see Greg Raleigh back on stage with Neal Schon. That's like seeing Jeff Beck and Rod Stewart together, right? Kind of the same thing. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Patreon, a measly $1 a month on Patreon. Also memberships on YouTube for what, $2.99, something like that. You could sign up, and eventually I'll start making videos that are just for members, where I ramble even more than this video. Yeah. All right. People are saying, shut up and just get on with your life. All right. See you soon.